Hi, Aman, and welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about what you think about content marketing and also a little bit of an introduction.
Sure. Thank you, Karnvir, for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Amyn Ghadiali. I'm the Vice President of Business and Strategy in Gozoop. Gozoop predominantly is an independent agency in the field of marketing and integrated communication. I have been in the industry for the past 11 years, and I've been one of those digital first marketers right at the onset of my career. And in this space, I've worked with over 80 plus brands and numerous award-winning campaigns. And it has been a very fruitful journey. So looking forward to this interaction and sharing a bit more on content marketing and my thoughts on it. So currently, what your question was that what is my take on content marketing, right? So I will just I'll just briefly cover that and tell you what my experience with content marketing has been in terms of how I have come to understand it. uh, Content marketing predominantly, if you look at it, the space has always been divided between content that is created by brands either directly or indirectly, that is through associations, through influencers, or through third parties, to attract the customer and create a favorable perception. There is another form of content marketing, which is what we call it as branded content, which a lot of brands and advertisers create it in a way that that content leads to a lot of engagement, leads to a lot of chatter, leads to conversations. And historically, if we look at it, whether under content marketing's umbrella, you can have a blog, your SEO content can be under content marketing, the content that your influencers create can be under content marketing, any content that you create as a brand itself can be under content marketing. That is how vast the umbrella is, that is how vast the ecosystem is. There are certain brands which create content for themselves by associating with influencers, but they are extremely organic. In certain cases, you create conversations by creating a campaign. An example very recently that is happening is Spotify. The entire year app that they are doing is, if you look at it, they have created this idea and they have placed it in a very interesting advertising manner. But after that, the kind of chatter that it has generated is all a part of content marketing. So that is how I view it. As a marketer, I feel content marketing, as much as a lot of individuals or marketers or brands look at it as a content service division, I believe it is very much ingrained in every activity that a brand undertakes, because today an ad film is a branded content. Today, any piece of influencer content is still a content. A blog that you have written is still a content. In fact, public relation and your news article itself is content because it is technically content in that aspect. So that is how I really, really view content marketing to be specific.
Right. So, what do you think? Where do you think content is going in India? Where do you think content is evolving in India?
So I believe that if you look at it, the journey of content marketing in India, if you look at the year 2013 to 2016, 17, I believe was the most uh, interesting time for content marketing and the way it evolved. One of the reasons was because the net penetration and digital penetration at that point in time was growing. A lot of people with their own perspective came to the forefront, and we saw a lot of interesting content being generated, whether it was AIB, whether it was EIC, whether it was new independent YouTubers like Bhuvan Bam and others coming in and really really creating a niche for themselves and then going mass. So the kind of content, and that time the censorship was lot less. That time what we call it as today as the trolls were a lot less. I think the freedom to express was a lot more. So I think that entire phase was very prolific for the field. I think that really opened up the eyes of the marketers as well on a way that they can connect to their target audiences and with their target audiences, and the sensibilities on digital overall kind of really really widened, because tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, everyone got a new lens of exposure that was through social media and through the digital verse. Conversations became more fluid, people started exchanging thoughts, and there was a general self acceptance overall as a society about our flaws, also about how we should evolve and how we should think. So I think that phase was very interesting from a content marketing aspect of it. However, today, if you look at it, the sentiment that we have, in the digital verse and the way we are growing and going, I feel a lot of brands and a lot of creators want to play it safe, and I think this is somewhere, uh, there are also extremists who are voicing out their opinion in different directions. So that is also there. So there are people who are staying true to their core and their voice that they have created, which is great, irrespective of whether you agree with it or you disagree with it. So I believe that the way the content marketing will evolve, for individuals who have created a very interesting space for themselves, I believe they would stay true to their voice, and the more true they are, the better their followers will trust them, because authenticity is the key today in the space, irrespective of whether you agree with the point of view or you don't agree with the point of view. However, when it comes to brands, specifically from a content marketing per se, I feel that the way it is going to go is that brands may become safer in their approach. They would love to be less controversial, because there is a lot of sentiment around trolls, around boycotting and the recent Tanishq example is a classic example of two ads being released and pulled down. So either, I think brands will either try to play it safe, and the ones that really believe in their core philosophy and the ones who have the guts to stick to that belief, I believe would be the one that would really, really triumph in this time to come. So that is my take on content marketing and how I think the future is in the country.
And give us some examples of content marketing which you have done in your company, which have really been interesting for you.
So I would share a very recent and a relevant example, that I felt content marketing really worked for our brand, which was a campaign that we did for GNC with John Abraham. That was very recent during the COVID times. It was called I Am Positive, and it was done in a way that we did it to uplift the spirit of not just our customers but also people at large. And the role of the brand and pushing the brand or the product was very minimal. And so it was obviously because you need to have a brand window. It was something that was captured because the message of the brand needs to come out and the philosophy of the brand needs to come out. But that was a very beautiful way in which we interacted with our target audience. It got a lot of chatter in the space, and because of a celeb power like John Abraham, it really struck the chord. The second thing that I think, which is very recently, which we did, which was for a foundation called One Small Step, which is a foundation that we have for social good. That entire campaign that we did was "Don't Be a Careless Khajur," and we created a rap song which actually had people. There were 6 languages that we did the rap song in, and all of this was done pro bono, purely to spread the message. And I think that was a song. As a song, it kind of got shared a lot. People spoke about it a lot, and we had an impact element to it. For every mention, for every 100 mention, we gave 10 masks to those in need. In the slums that we are working as a foundation, and so far we have actually donated over 75,000 masks. So that is the kind of impact that it created. So I feel those are the kind of things that really, really stand out and really create that difference. Also, one of the things that I would like to share is, personally, I've been very fortunate to work on the Mumbai Police Twitter account and launch it in the space. And the strategy was something that was designed by my team, and I was a part of it. So I think those ways, I think, out of personal experience, they've worked really, really well for me personally. So,
Wow. So thank you. I mean, that was great and lovely to have your views on content marketing. So thank you for your time.
pleasure was all mine. See you.